Thank you. So what we're going to be talking about today is Summit Ministries. Right here's like one of their logos. Now, what is Summit? They asked me this. I was actually interviewed while I was at Summit for one of their videos. They asked me, "What do you think about Summit? If you could explain Summit, what would you say?" And I said, "Summit is life-changing," which it surely is. Summit is a 2-week conference for both young men and women from the ages of 14 to 25, but there are some exceptions with that rule. It's basically preparing any young adult who's going into high school, is in high school, or is about to go into college, or just finished college, or is in college. Summit is located on the side of a mountain in Manitou Springs, right off in Colorado, right outside of Colorado Springs. So I don't know if any of you guys have been to Colorado, but it's right in that area. Basically what its goal is to help young adults on their journey with Christ and help prepare them, like I said, for college more so, as well as life in general. So Caleb, do you want to give them a little bit of history on Summit?
Sure. So the founder, his name is David Noble, and he originally wrote the book Understanding the Times after taking a college course on communism. Afterwards, in 1962, Noble founded Summit Ministries as a Christian leadership training program, and started off as 2 separate hotels at first, and then they kind of merged them together to create like one big facility. Now they offer other sessions in California and Tennessee, but as far as sessions go, I think Colorado was probably the best way to go. And it created the Summit Oxford program, which is an interesting program.
I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. Now, what exactly does Summit do? Like I said, basically is helps people strengthen their relationship with Christ, but does a lot of other numerous things as well. It's a catalyst that enables the youth to stand strong in their faith and defend truth, while having a positive influence on society. Basically just teaches students how to deal with society and culture today. Now, the biggest thing that they tried to drill into our heads when we first arrived there was that ideas have consequences. Whether those be good ideas, bad ideas, sinful ideas, bright ideas, and the not so bright ideas. But ideas have consequences. And then they go into talking about worldviews. Now, as Caleb mentioned, David Noble, he wrote Understanding the Times, which is a book based on a lot of his studies during college and teachings on worldviews. So that includes secularism, Marxism, postmodernism, as well as New Spiritualism, and of course Christianity and Islam as well. And I actually bought the Understanding the Times, the issue that's the volume that's not out yet. It's coming out in September, so I'd highly recommend purchasing it off of Amazon if you guys can get a hold of it. It's a very good read, great read. What the book does, and what they did at Summit as well, was they not only described each of these worldviews, but then they also went into different disciplines of each of the worldviews. So they talked about biology, they talked about ethics, talked about laws, philosophy, psychology, different disciplines like that. And then from there they told you, based on those people's worldviews, you could kind of determine where they stood as far as those disciplines went. And then of course they taught us a lot about apologetics as well, defending the word, defending the gospel, and how to counteract a lot of people's rebuttals and questions and concerns that they would have about Christianity. And then, of course, we talked about contemporary topics and issues in today's culture and society as well. Now, what happens at Summit exactly? Like we said, it's a 2-week program. You wake up every morning at 7 a.m. They're out in the little courtyard, and they literally scream until everyone wakes up. And then you have to go to bed at 11 p.m. It's actually a very strict, rigorous course. It's like a fire hydrant of information. Throughout the week, it is, you go to breakfast, and immediately right after breakfast, you have to go to classes, and it's classes all day until lunch. And from lunch, you have like an hour of free time, and it's classes the rest of the day again. And they're just shooting all kinds of information at you. It's a lot to take in. And then mornings, you start off with a pledge. You pledge allegiance to the flag. You have a prayer, of course, and then you sing Amazing Grace, and then they go into the classes as well. And then you also have worship in the evening, which is pretty fun. And then they have all kinds of speakers come in to teach the classes. Speakers from all across the country to teach about, like I said, world views, apologetics, and things like that. And they also talked about pretty cool topics or interesting topics like evolution, the creation of the universe, the Big Bang Theory, and things like abortion and gay marriage as well. Now, my personal favorite, he's going to be at the Impact event, is John Stonestreet. He talked a lot about different worldviews, and my favorite, he also did one on postmodernism, which was really good, and it applies to the world today, considering most of our society is starting to lean towards the postmodernistic worldview. And then, of course, Sean and Josh McDowell, those were two good speakers as well. There was numerous speakers there.
All right. So in addition to having great experiences in sort of building yourself up and preparing yourself for life, there were also some other fun activities that people got to partake in. So one of the things that was really cool that Kyle got to do was that he got to see fireworks on the 4th of July on top of Red Mountain. I didn't get to do that though, unfortunately, but he said it was really fun. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Got to see the fireworks at eye level as opposed to always looking up. It was really cool being on top of a mountain and just seeing the fireworks right there. So.
And then we had some free time to worship, kind of discuss what we had learned earlier in the day with some friends. And we got to explore the town, which was a very nice town, Manitou Springs. Some of the people there are a little rough, though, to be honest. But it is very pretty. It's a very nice place. And then one of my favorite things to do there, honestly, was whitewater rafting. That was really fun. For about 2 hours, we went down this river of rapids. It was just an awesome experience. We got to both paddle the boats. And then zip lining. Now, neither of us got to do that. He signed up for it, but he ultimately wasn't able to go. But from what I heard, it was pretty fun. And then the zoo. You might not expect the zoo to be all that great because of its location, but it was actually one of the coolest zoos I've been to because you really got to interact with a lot of the animals. You got to feed the giraffes and pet them, and I thought that was a really cool experience. And they even had wallabies just hopping around in the open. It was pretty cool. You got to pet them and stuff. And then laser tag is pretty self-explanatory. It was pretty fun. It was fun. And then the bookstore. That was actually pretty cool because all the speakers that kind of spoke, all either published books or co-published books, so you got to get better insight on some of the topics they were talking about, which I thought was really cool. I wish I would have bought more books because they offered them at discounts, compared to other places. But it was very fun.
Yeah, it was very nice to have the bookstore there because if you were interested in a topic, you could go right after the session and go grab a book. And they had it, of course, on apologetics, worldviews, all kinds of stuff. Okay. And now, where are we now? And real quick before I go into this, we also, of course, in the evenings, twice a week, they would also have small group meetings. So you'd have a group of all the guys would meet together in a group of 5. And then there would be a group of 5 girls in different groups, and you just get to talk amongst your peers and reflect on the day and what you had learned. But where are Caleb and I now after going to this life-changing event? Summit has prepared us for the next step in our lives. For me personally, it's with college coming to a close here soon for me, it's kind of helped direct me on the path, to follow Christ. My next step in life through my career, what I want to do, and relationships as well, whether that be a marital relationship or friends or what have you, but it's definitely prepared me to follow Christ a lot in my next step in life. And
and as for me, since I'm going off to college pretty soon, it offered some very good insights on kind of what worldviews I want to have, and I can really apply a lot of the stuff that I learned there into life, and I think that's going to better help me And I'd recommend that anyone who's around this age group from 14 to 25 should go and try it out. It was really helpful.
Yes, if you have any kids or grandkids who might be interested, definitely check it out. It helps strengthen our trust and relationship with and in Christ. They also have, now since Caleb and I are alumni, they have an alumni program, which is like through Facebook. They also have like their own website that we can go to and basically stay in contact with all different alumni who have graduated there. If we're struggling in life or, in a relationship with Christ, others are there for us to talk to and help us with our problems. They've sent us, it's been 3 weeks now since we've been there, and every week they've sent us emails just checking in on us. They're not going to do that now anymore, but 3 weeks after, just making sure that we're staying focused and stuff. As Caleb mentioned earlier, Summit Oxford has really piqued my interest. It's a Summit program in Oxford. Basically, it's an apprenticeship almost kind of thing where it's one-on-one with your professor. Teaches you, of course, you can learn about all different kinds of worldviews. You focus on the different disciplines and, of course, whatever you're studying in. But it's really cool because it's just a one-on-one kind of thing. You take your test with that professor, you learn with that professor. It just seems really interesting. And then, of course, if any of you are interested, they do also offer a Summit Adult program as well. Now, this isn't 2 weeks, this is only 1 week, I believe. But I found very interesting. So, you can be 20 to 80 years old, and if you want to go to Summit and learn a bit, you can as well. And then, of course, Caleb and I had a little bit of fun. She got to get her pictures taken at the old time photos. So I guess I'll end in prayer real quick. All right, Heavenly Father, we come before you, and Caleb and I want to thank you for our time here at NCF, and we want to thank you for just all the amazing work that people here do through you, Lord. And we just thank you for the time that we've had here. And please let us all have a productive and blessed remainder of the day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And then also, if you guys want to look, I do have the newest Understanding the Times. If you just want to get an idea, please don't lose my bookmark. If you just want to get an idea of some of the stuff that they talked about, you can take a look through this if you'd like.
Are you guys up for some questions?
Sure.
All right, we have a few minutes for questions.
I have a question.
Katrina.
One, do you go back, is this something you would do? Like, would you go again?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Every year?
Oh, of
or
course.
once you go once, you're an alumni?
Once you go once, you're an alumni, but like you can go again if you would like.
In fact, a bunch of the people there have actually gone there multiple times.
Yeah, the girl I sat beside, actually, that was her 5th time going.
Oh, wow.
So she's gone 5 times. Yeah.
Wow.
What would you say would be maybe a key learning? Maybe something that you thought differently about, or maybe the light bulb just came on. So what would be a key learning that you came away from?
Specific topic, or a specific topic that that really sparked my interest that wasn't necessarily there before was abortion. I was against it obviously before, but when they talked about it more, it baffled me, and I came to realize wow, what they do, is really wrong, and just how that's life, and it's just something that sparked my interest. And they also had opportunities for internships there as well. There's also this group called Saving the Storks that actually came in, and Caleb and I helped. We donated, and I bought a t-shirt, and all the funds go to that. What it is basically Saving the Storks is they have these vans, they have ultrasounds and everything in there, and what they do is they go in they park the vans in front of abortion clinics, and then so they try to get the young women to come into the vans so that they can tell them, describe to them, this is a life, what you're doing, why it's wrong, and try to convince them not to go through with the abortion. And they said a lot of young women don't realize the options that they have. There's adoption, different things like that they can do as opposed to, abortion. So I thought that was an interesting topic.
Okay. Other questions? All right, very good. Well, thank you guys.